Hey guys, I hope everybody's having an awesome weekend. We have much more exciting vlogs and things coming very, very soon, I promise you. But first, I wanted to show you guys an interview I had with Amber from Express Truck Tax. I am so impressed on what they are doing for drivers across the United States, especially lease purchase drivers, owner-operators, and owners of companies in simplifying the process to handling paperwork and doing what you're best at, making money. So without further ado, here is our interview. I hope you enjoy.
Thank you so much, Brittney. I'm super excited to talk with you today and to tell you a little bit about the 2290. And I'm even more excited that you are one of our preferred partners. And what that means is that you have your own 2290 page. So when your drivers and all of your following that you have, when they go to AmericanTruckers2290.com, this is what they'll see. They'll see your beautiful truck here, and then they will be able to scroll down and go through the different steps that you'll need to do to file the 2290, a little bit about American Truckers 2290 and Express Truck Tax, since we've kind of partnered together for the Form 2290. But I really just want to jump right in and show you how easy it is to file the Form 2290. As most of you probably know, the Form 2290 is an annual tax that you have to file if your vehicle is grossed over 55,000 pounds. So a lot of you that are driving semi-trucks and big hauling trucks, you're required to file the Form 2290. I know that it's not beautiful or glamorous or even wanted, but it is needed. And so I want to give you the option of filing through Brittney and Pink and American Truckers. And so we're going to kind of jump right into it. And so once you come to AmericanTruckers2290.com, you're going to see her page here. And you can either click Start Your Filing Now. This is if you're brand new to Express Truck Tax, meaning you've never filed a return with us. That will take you to the business details screen. If you are a returning user, that means that you have filed with Express Truck Tax in the past, but this time you're going to go through Brittney. And so you'll be able to sign into your existing account right through her page. So once you create your account, you're going to go to the Add New Business Details. So this is where you're going to add your business details. And I'll just kind of slowly scroll down here so that you can see what it is that you will need when you come to file your 2290. One of the main questions that we get is, can I file my 2290 with my social security number? And the answer is no. The IRS does not accept the social security number anymore. And you must file with an EIN, which is the employer identification number. And you can get that through the IRS. And if you have trouble getting that, we also have ways that we can help you with that as well. But here's the kicker, is that when you get an EIN, it can take the IRS anywhere from 10 to usually about 15 business days to activate that EIN. And until that EIN is active, your 2290 cannot be accepted. And so a lot of times people get their EIN and think that they can file right away online, and that's just not how it is. When you're e-filing your return through Express Truck Tax or any e-file provider, has to match up with the IRS system. And until the IRS batches those EINs and puts them into their system, it doesn't match. And so with Express Truck Tax, you can resubmit your 2290 every day until it's accepted. But sometimes people don't understand that there is that time lapse between when you actually get the number and when it's active. So I do want to start out by saying that if you do not have an EIN and you are thinking about leasing onto a company, or you're thinking about going out under your own authority, go ahead and get that EIN first so that it can be maturing while you're doing the rest of the paperwork. So once you have I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was clearing my throat. We're good.
Okay. So once you have the business details here, and I'm not going to take the time to go through that because I already have a business over here called Truckers for America, and it has all of the business details already here, and I'll click edit here. So anytime you need to edit information, you can come back and you can edit your information that's in our system as well. So you can edit all different types of information. But once you have your business on Express Truck Tax, then you are going to file your 2290. And this process is quick and easy. It's an interview style process. So again, it should not take a long time. And we are located in Rock Hill, South Carolina. So if you do have any questions, and that's one of the things that Brittney, for you and for your followers and for your drivers, anytime they do have a question, they're very welcome to call us and we'll help them through with any kind of questions that they have related to their 2290.
That's awesome.
So this one right here is just a fake account. It's called my development account. So anytime I want to go in and see what we're doing, or if we're doing anything differently, I sign into this account. But you can see here, it looks just like expresstrucktax.com. Pre-filing Form 2290 for the 2020-21 tax year is now available. And what that means is that you can come in and you can prepare your form now, and then it will be submitted to the IRS on July 1st. And so if you have some downtime now and you want to go ahead and get it done, you can do that. It's not due until August 31st of 2020. So what we suggest for people to do is to go ahead and file the tax, or file the return, file your 2290 return. And then if you want to wait to pay until the end of the summer, you can choose to pay by check or money order, and then mail that check or money order before the end of the summer. And one of the things that we do is we send out a reminder email both in July and August to say, hey, you chose check or money order on your return, and we want to make sure that we get it mailed in time. So you can go ahead and verify your information, enter your information, submit it to the IRS on July 1st. That means that you get it, your leasing company gets the stamp Schedule 1, but then you're not required to mail that check until the end of the summer. And so that's what a lot of our clients do, just to make sure it gets out of the way. It gets filed on time, but then they're not worrying about it all summer. So because this business, Truckers for America, has an accepted return here, all we need to do is go to the top and click pre-file 2290. And what that's going to do is it's going to bring up a box where it says, do you want to copy a previously accepted return, or do you want to start a completely new return? So if all of your information is the same from last year, so you're driving the same truck, you haven't moved, changing your address, then you can just copy a previously accepted return, and it's literally like 2 steps.
Oh my God, that's awesome. That cuts out so much legwork.
Yeah. And so you can see here's the summary. So it has your business information up here at the top. It has your 2290 summary. So you're filing for July 2020. You have your taxable vehicle. And if you wanted to go see your taxable vehicle, you just click the edit button. It's going to take you to the taxable page where you have your VIN, your full VIN listed there, your gross weight, and then how much tax that you're going to owe to the IRS. And so just to verify that information, it's always a good idea to verify that information. And then once you have verified that information and it's correct, go to return summary right here over on the side, and it takes you right back to the return summary. Any questions so far?
I guess the question I would have would be for drivers who aren't familiar with this process. Like, when are truckers required to file the Form 2290?
Mm-hmm. Well, so there's a couple different stipulations, but kind of the big one is anybody over 55,000 pounds. So for example, if we go back to taxable vehicles right here, you'll see here that they can select their gross weight. So let me go here and edit this vehicle. One of the questions that is asked is taxable gross weight. So this is your truck, your trailer, and the maximum that you can haul. So 99% of the time it's over 75,000, but you'll see here the least it can be as 55,000 pounds. So if you are driving a vehicle and your gross weight is over 55,000 pounds, then you are required to file. There are a couple different types of filings that you can do, and you can see them here at the top. So here we're on the taxable vehicle section. If we click next, we can add suspended vehicles, which means these vehicles are mostly like farm vehicles or local vehicles that are not traveling over 5,000 miles. So they still are over 55,000 pounds, but they're not traveling over 5,000 miles or 7,500 for agriculture. So they still are required to file, but they don't pay taxes on them. So,
Okay.
and you'll see here up at the top of the screen, there's a little I on every page, and it kind of, it will tell you the definition of what's on the screen. And so again, if you are just not sure, or if it's your first time filing, we do have little information bubbles where it gives the definition of that specific page, and that way you know, oh gosh, well, do I add my vehicle on taxable or suspended? And then again, we're in our
So as far as like who specifically needs to file, so let's say a driver hauls a vehicle over 55,000 pounds between the load and their truck trailer, then
Right.
obviously company truck drivers don't need to, but as far as like owner ops, lease purchase,
Yeah.
are they all required to file is a
Mhm.
lease purchase driver required to file in most cases, or?
Well, it really just depends on how the lease agreement is set up. And I've both. So if you are, you know, that's one of the things that you want to look for in that lease agreement is who is responsible to file the 2290 and who's responsible to renew the plates on the truck. Company drivers, like you said, the company will take care of it. We have a lot of big companies that file with us, and they purchase an unlimited package. So if you have 5,000 trucks in your fleet, you would be able to file them under one EIN since you're a company driver. But as far as owner ops and things like that, it's really it's up to how the lease agreement is written. And one thing that I will say on that is that you know, say that your company did file it for you, but they filed it under their name. And now you're thinking about, oh, gosh, I'm really not happy with this company. I want to leave and I want to lease on to another company. The kicker there is a lot of times you've paid for that 2290, even though it's under their name. They take it out of your settlement or whatever the agreement is. But so you've paid the full tax over here, but it's under their name. It's under their name on the 2290. And now you're thinking about leaving and going to company B over here. And company B says, well, we need a 2290 for your truck. Now you've got to file and pay the tax again because they need it under your name. So it really is smart to always file the 2290 under your name and then give it to the company to say, here's my 2290 for this truck. Because a lot of times that happens where you leave in the middle of the year or whatever the situation is, but you end up having to pay twice.
Okay, that makes complete sense. What are the penalties for not filing the 2290?
So, so there's two sets of penalties. Okay, so there's a penalty if you don't file and don't pay by August 31st, and that's about 4.5% of the tax due per month. So, but there's another penalty where, let's say you file on time, so you file before the deadline, but you just can't find that money to pay before it's about 0.5%. So it drops by 4% at least if you file on time, and that's what we really drill in pretty heavily is just file the 2290. And you always want to choose check or money order. There are 3 options to pay the tax, and that leads me to my next point, and I'll go ahead and go here on the screen so that you can see it as I'm talking. When we go to the return summary, if we scroll down here to the bottom, it says IRS Payment Details, and I'm going to click Edit right here so you can see this as I'm telling you. There are 3 ways to pay your IRS tax, and this goes directly to the IRS. So it's not like you're paying a third party to then go to the IRS. It goes directly from you to the IRS. So you can either choose to pay them by electronic funds withdrawal. This means that you're entering your bank account and routing number, and then the IRS is taking it directly from your bank account to the Internal Revenue Service. This method takes between 24 and 48 hours. So once you submit the return, once the return is accepted, it'll automatically be drafted out. The electronic funds withdrawal, EFW, is the only automatic way to pay your tax. So if you want to enter that information and you just want to be done, that's the way to do it. The other way that you can pay your tax is through an Eftps account. So, whoa, wow. Woo, okay. The Eftps account. This is through eftps.gov. So this is a separate account set up through the IRS. Again, it can take about 15 business days. It says it right here. It takes about 15 business days to set the account up. So if you don't already have it set up and this is how you want to pay, it's kind of like a savings account through the IRS where you can kind of deposit money over time, and then you can use that money to pay any kind of tax out of your account. So the Eftps account. And then the third option is check or money order. And this is kind of what I was saying, where if you want to go ahead and pre-file or file and make sure that you file on time, which is a huge percentage of the penalty, then you can choose check or money order, and you mail that check or money order by August 31st. So it has to be postmarked by August 31st to avoid that 0.5% deadline. Penalties. So to answer your question, it's kind of confusing, but if you don't file at all and you don't pay at all before the deadline, it's 4.5% of the tax due per month. If you file but don't pay on time, it's 0.5% per month.
So moral of the
4%.
story. I was going to say moral of the story, even if you weren't prepared to pay this second, pre-file. There's no excuse for it because you're not having to pay anything. At least get it filed.
Exactly.
Follow up with a check or money order. That makes a lot of sense.
Yep, and that's one of the things is that we make sure to always follow up with the client. So even if you pre-file or you file now and you choose check or money order, we're going to be sending you emails in July and August to say, hey, we see that you filed your 2290. Great, wonderful. You chose check or money order. Make sure to have that in the mail by August 31st. So we'll send reminders. So there really is no reason to not just get the filing done and out of the way. That way you're done. You don't have to worry about anything else.
Mm-hmm. And I like the fact that you guys are sending reminders, because I know I get busy. I mean, all of us as drivers, we get tied up on so many different things. We forget.
Right.
So that's so crucial.
Yeah, well, and that's one of the things, some people get sick of the reminders because we're reminding like every day, like, let's go, it's time. But there are so many more drivers who are like, gosh, thank you for the 500 reminders. On the 501st one, I realized that I just need to stop what I'm doing, take 5 minutes and get this thing done. And so, we kind of have people on both ends of the spectrum, and it is what it is, but our clients love to get the reminder. So
that's awesome.
So consent disclosure, there's a lot of mumbo jumbo here, but it's a question that the IRS requires us as an e-file provider to ask. It's basically saying, do you give permission to the IRS to share your HVUT payment information with other state and federal agencies? Now, you'll see here that it's automatically selected at no. Checking yes or no will not affect anything on the return. It will not affect anything. But a lot of people already are just at the no part, so we have it automatically selected at no. So you could just keep scrolling right through this. When you click next, the next page is going to be the third-party designee. So let's say you have maybe your friend helping you file, or your spouse, or whatever the situation is, and if you want them to be able to discuss this return with the IRS, so let's say that maybe the address was wrong, or maybe the tax due, something, you just have a question about the return, you have to have this page filled out. So if you want somebody to be able to discuss your return with the IRS, this is the first thing they're going to come and look at. They're going to say, was there a third-party designee on the return? And they're going to ask for this information here. So I'll just leave that at no for the purpose of this walkthrough, but that is kind of important there as well. And then we're back at a summary screen. And I know it seems like there's 5,000 summary screens, but that's for a reason, because once you submit your 2290, it's gone. Like, we want you to make sure 150% that it's correct before you submit it.
And I was going to say, it looks like you guys have made the process very simple. I mean, it's a straightforward walkthrough, boom, 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 you're done
Yeah.
type of thing.
Yeah, we've been in business for over 10 years. So we've been working with truckers and trucker wives and so many different types of people in the industry. And so we've been able to perfect the process and really listen to what people are saying, so that, if they say, gosh, this is really confusing, we've been able to work through that so that it's not confusing to them anymore. So yes, we've worked really hard to make it simple. This page here is a review of your tax data. It says no errors were found in your tax return. This means that that all of the required fields were filled out. So what this does not mean, though, is, let's say that back on the bank account information, let's say you entered the wrong routing number. We can catch that because we can check the routing number. But if you entered the wrong account number, there's no way for us to know what your bank account number is. Believe me, there's no way.
Okay, that was going to be my question, was how safe filing online is with
I
the
know.
22, you guys.
I know. And that is a question that we get a lot, especially in the industry, because there's a lot of fraud that goes on. And I get it. And I completely get that question. I'm going to click next while I talk about this. That question is valid. And one of the things that we do at Express Truck Tax is we put a huge emphasis on safety for your information, because this is a federal form. So you want to make sure that who you're filing with has been approved by the IRS. And not only that, but they are based in the United States, so that if you have a question, you can get a hold of them, and who have been through the safety measures that are set up to make sure that your information is safe. And that's huge to us, not just because you're our clients, but also because we're huge about not taking advantage of the drivers. That's why it costs $9.90. You can see it down here, $9.90 to file your 2290. There are companies out there who are charging $45, $75 to file your 2290. And it just blows my mind how you can take advantage of the trucking industry. And because you, like you just said, you guys are so busy, you're just like, whatever. So you go Google 2290, and whatever the first thing that pops up, a lot of people just click on that and they go file their 2290. You've just wasted $50, $60, $70 when you can file it for $9.90. Like, it's just,
wow.
That blows my mind. But as far as the safety goes, with Express Truck Tax, those are the things that I would look for. You look for a company based in America and really has a support team, and that's Express Truck Tax. A company that is out there with who they are, where they're located. We always say through the entire 2290 season, come by and stop and see us. Like, we're not afraid to show you where we're located. You know what I mean? Like, we have an office in Rock Hill. We're completely fine with you coming and stopping and having a drink and just, and we have drivers that like pull up their semi in Main Street, Rock Hill.
I'm going to take you up on that one of these days.
I would love it. We have a little French bakery across the street from where we work, and it's called Amelie's, and there's like a stop sign right there. And sure enough, semis will just pull up, park. You'll see them run across the road, and they'll come in our office and file the 2290. So we love being a part of the industry, and it makes my blood boil that other e-file providers who are just out there to get the money exist.
And I noticed a trend too across the board when it comes to taking advantage of drivers or truly caring about drivers, is companies that seem to be media friendly. They're just bubbly. Here we are. We're right here. All their information's right out there. They're transparent. You can tell, you can feel that they truly care about the drivers. The other ones, you don't see that.
Right. And that's one of the things that we're talking about is we're excited about the industry. Obviously, yes, we deal with the Form 2290, and that's one of the taxes, but we have so much more industry knowledge that we freely give out. And we have the truck management software called TruckLogix, and through that software, it's a more robust software. But we form relationships with our all over the transportation department. And so, one of our Facebook pages, one of our posts was highlighting each one of our team members. You don't see that from the other companies, and that's a red flag. And that usually means that they are, set up in a different country, and they're just using an American address to get money, and that's sick. Like, that is so sick.
It is. That's ridiculous.
And it's not okay. It's not okay. So we're fighting back against it. We've had enough. And when people are charging, 75, 45, there's so much. And now, again, this is on express truck tax. This is when you enter the information on your own. And when people are charging 4, 5, 6 times this amount to e-file your 2290, it's not okay. So, but I'll get off my soapbox now, but that makes my blood boil.
For good reason too. I can understand.
I mean, with everything else, there's so much that goes in. You're not just jumping in a truck and driving. Mm-hmm. There's so many registrations and certificates and taxes that you guys have to keep up with. Making it as easy as possible is our goal, and that's where really we're at. And so we're fed up, so we're going after it at this point. But so here,
I'm rooting for you. I think it's great.
All right, you're on our side. So available payment options. These are different options that you can add on. So let's say that you want a copy of stamp Schedule 1, which that is the piece of paper that gets a stamp on it that says this person has paid their 2290. That's the piece of paper that you'll turn into your leasing company, or if you're going to get your own plates, that's the piece of paper that they want to see. That's how they enforce the 2290, is making sure that that piece of paper has that stamp. So if you want a copy mailed to you, sometimes that stamp in the middle can be very light, but it's what the IRS gives. So we actually use a mailing company, and they calibrate it to make sure it comes out nice and dark. So if you want a copy of it mailed to you, you can click in the box. If you want to receive a text, again, you guys are busy, you're on the road, you're doing whatever you need to do. So once you file your 2290 and you go off on your business, we'll send you a text to say, hey, your 2290 has been accepted. You can go in and print your stamp Schedule 1 off. The same thing with being faxed. A lot of times when you're working with these companies, maybe you're leased on, you're a leased owner operator, you are, you have an office where they need your copy of your stamp Schedule 1. And I'll show you in a minute how to email that to them, but you could also fax it to them as well. So you can click all of these options, or you can click none of them, either however you want to do that. We give you kind of like a one last chance, kind of like a are you sure? One of those like skanky commercials, like a limited time offer. So just so if you miss it the first time, you can add it the second time if you would like to, with a discount of $248. So there's that option there, but we can skip that and go next. And then we come to the credit card page. So here at the credit card, it's very clear that your card will only be charged when you transmit your return. These fees are only for express truck tax. So the $990 will only be for express truck tax. And right here, it says the card is only to pay the filing fee for your 2290. So because this is my development site, I have a fake card in here. So I'm just going to enter my CVV, and then I'm going to click next and hope that works, which it did. And then I know this is going to be super surprising, but it's going to bring us to another summary. because we want to make sure it's correct. So you can just scroll down, make sure everything is correct. Yep, everything looks good. And then at the very end, it's going to ask you to enter a 5-digit PIN. This is electronically signing your form, so anything except all zeros will work. A lot of people use their zip code. Some people use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever it is. You don't need to remember it. It's just electronically signing your form that one time. And then you're going to click complete the pre-filing process. And again, this is for if you are filing today or tomorrow. That button will change when it's the regular season. But once you click complete the pre-file process, it's going to take you to this after transmit page. Can you hear that?
What was it? I heard something.
Yeah, it's this video that plays down here, and I just wanted to make sure that you could not hear it because it's very loud.
I couldn't.
Okay, good. So up at the top it says we've successfully received your return, and then if you scroll down, you can add additional emails. So this is like if you're leased onto Landstar or you're leased onto, I don't know, whoever, you could add their email here, and you can click save, and we will automatically send them a copy of your stamp schedule 1. So that's it. That's it. Once you do this and you click dashboard, you'll see now that you have your accepted return from last year, and now your 2020 return is on hold. And on July 1st, it'll be accepted, and you'll already have a copy of your stamp schedule 1. So that's it. That's how easy it is.
That is awesome. Yeah, I just love. I said it earlier, but I'll say it again. I love how you guys have streamlined the process. Like you guys have done such an efficient job at making it easy for us drivers to be able to do this and remember to file on time.
Yeah, it really is. And so, I kind of went through the pre-file process where if they already had an accepted return, it copied the return. But let me just show you here. Let's say it's your very first time and you haven't filed with us before. Let me actually tell you what I'm doing. I just clicked start new return. And then right here, if you're e-filing for 1 truck or if you're e-filing for multiple trucks. But let's say we're e-filing for 1 truck. We're just going to click the 1 truck option. And then you'll see on this page, it's 1 page. So you enter in, it's even numbered. You enter in your first month, then you put your vehicle information in, then you select your tax payment, then you scroll down and you click next. And you're at the same summary that we were at. So either way, whether you're a new client or whether you're a returning client, either way, both options are very easy. And I think what makes it worth coming to Express Truck Tax is our service team, is knowing that if you have questions, because it is federal tax, and you do want to make sure that you file it correctly. So if you do have questions at all, we are in our office Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern time, and we are answering calls all day long. And so, and you can either reach us through online chat. So we have a chat option. We have email, which is support@expresstrucktax.com, or the phone. So anyway you need to get a hold of us, we're there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for sharing everything.
Absolutely.
We'll have to do a follow-up video sometime on just everything else that you guys do. Like,
yeah.
I'm really impressed.
Yeah, we have a lot of options, and that's what we do. We kind of always, this is with any product that we have, we start with one product, and then from that, with the feedback that we get and with everything that comes along with it, we're like, oh, well, gosh, we need a TMS that is structured the way that the truckers actually work. And so, so there came Trucklogics, and then we have Express IFTA, where, if you are required to file IFTA and you're trying to keep track of all of your data, your odometer readings and your fuel. So we came up with Express IFTA, and then TS in America, it's where we filed the 2290 for you. So if you don't want to go through the hassle, even though, like you've said a million times, it's so streamlined, it's not. But if you want to just call and we can file the 2290 for you over the phone, we have that as well. So so there's lots of different options, but yeah, absolutely, we'll meet back up and we'll do a follow-up video.
That would be awesome.
Cool. Okay. Well, again, if when your people go to AmericanTruckers2290.com, again, here on the screen, you're just going to click Start Filing Now or Returning User. It's going to take you straight to Express Truck Tax. Well, then you'll get into your account. But from that point, you'll see here that American Truckers is linked up here at the top. So it still is with Brittney and her amazingness that she is. But we're super excited to partner with you this year. And if you have any questions, or if your followers or your drivers have any questions, I'm here. I'm happy to help.
I'm so happy to partner with you guys as well. Thank you so much.